Hello there and welcome to this video. So I have really been looking forward to this day because we have had so many cloudy and rainy days here lately, but today we are finally lucky enough to have a reasonably sunny day. So we are going sightseeing in Aarhus. Yes, we are just going for a cozy walk around, both in beautiful nature spots and into the city of Aarhus. We will first visit the Queen or the royal family's summer residence, Marselisborg Slot, where we will look at the many beautiful sculptures and garden arrangements and what more in the Queen's garden or the royal garden. Then we will go for a stroll in the woods, and we will find a cute little restaurant out in the woods called Skovmøllen, where we might have some smørbrød. And then we will go for another little stroll around the beautiful forest, which really is so special this time of year with all the beautiful golden, yellow, red and brown leaves. And it is especially beautiful when the sun is shining. And then we will visit Moesgård Museum. We will not go inside the museum. We will just go up on the rooftop and look at the beautiful view up there and look at the sights that there are to see from up there. Then we will go into the city of Aarhus and go window shopping. We will visit the Latinerkvarteret, which is a very charming part of Aarhus city with lots of cute little shops, interesting shops, and many great restaurants too. Then we will go to Åboulevarden, where there are many cafés and nightclubs, bars, and we might get a little something there to eat as well, and a cup of tea. Then we will visit the Cathedral of Århus Cathedral, which is very, very old and beautiful, Gothic cathedral. So let's grab a hat and a coat and let's get outside. And if you are wondering where is Aarhus in the world, I will just show you. It is right here under the nose of the leprechaun here, which is Jutland. So it is East Jutland by the coast here, by the coast. Yeah, the east coast of Jutland. A beautiful town which I love and adore. I've lived here all my life around Aarhus, in not the same place, but in many different little towns around Aarhus. So it's a town that I know the best of all in Denmark. So let's go. Hello, here I am outside in the beautiful nature. I am in the Memorial Park, just enjoying the beautiful weather and the beautiful brown and yellow leaves. So let's go for a little walk in the park. And the Memorial Park is beautifully located here, overlooking the bay of Aarhus, of Marselisborg Bay. The park is very peaceful and quiet today. Usually you will find a lot of people out here enjoying the weather in the spring and summer, just playing ball games, having picnics and barbecues. But today it's just so quiet, which I really enjoy. And there we see Marselisborg Castle, which we will visit, or just the garden. We will visit the garden in a little bit. Oh, and here is the playground where I used to love to come with my 2 boys when they were younger. And one of them still likes to come here. He is 12, almost. And he really loves the round swing right there. It's his favorite. I have so many good memories from this place. The park is divided into several smaller areas like Rømerhaven, the tree collection, Dunbækhaven, and the rhododendron forest. The park contains a memorial for Danes also who fell in the World War I. And in 2020 a memorial stone was also added for the 100th anniversary of the unification of South Jutland with Denmark. And here is what they call the tree collection. And this beautiful area has these flower pots. In the summer and springtime you will find a lot more flowers all around the garden. It's very beautiful. But this time of year it's not so much. There are still a little bit of leaves left on the trees. So I'm lucky to get out now before they're all gone. So here's a labyrinth which we will avoid going into today because we have so much to see all around Aarhus. So let's go over here to the ice cream booth and the restrooms, which are open and free to use. And in this little area you can sit and enjoy your ice cream or your coffee. And now let's head out of the park and go over to Marselisborg Castle. It's right on the opposite side of the street. Opposite side of the street, yeah. And here you can see Marselisborg Mindeparken. It says Marselisborg Memorial Park. That's the main entrance here to the park. Kongevejen. This area is called Kongelunden, by the way. And here is the entrance to the castle. And the beautiful trees. And the gate here has these beautiful iron roses and tulips. there's a little gate here on the side that's wide open, so we can just walk in. It is completely free to walk around and look at the garden and all the artwork in here. That is when the royal family isn't staying here. They do stay here in the summer and in the Christmas time. So, and when they do stay here, you can come and see the lifeguards parading outside with their bearskin hats, and they change every day at 12. So let's walk up to the castle. And here's a beautiful lawn overlooking the bay, and a beautiful artwork here, art piece. This sculpture is called Marselisborg by Miguel Ortiz Barroco in 1996. It is fiberglass with bronze on a glass pedestal, and the sculpture depicts an abstract female figure. And Marselisborg was a purchase of Prince Henrik during a trip to Italy, where the artist was residing at the time. The royal family is very interested in art and are also very creative themselves. And in fact, Prince Henrik, Queen Margrethe's late husband, is also a sculptor himself. And again, let's take a look at the beautiful view. Now that the sun is out, everything is just more beautiful. And here we see a group of 3 sculptures. They are called 3 Lions and 9 Hearts by Klaus Erntoft from 2012. The sculptures are made of Chinese granite and consists of 3 lion figures in motion with 9 hearts placed on the ground in front of the lions. Sculptor Klaus Erntoft drew his inspiration from the Danish coat of arms. The sculptures were a gift from the city of Aarhus in celebration of Her Royal Majesty Queen Margrethe II's 70th birthday in 2010. Now let's take a look at the 3rd lion over here. Beautiful details. And the sun is really reflecting so beautifully on the granite here in the sun. Showing all the texture. And here we have the castle again and a balcony. Maybe it's the Queen's bedroom, I don't know. And we see a little garden area here with a swimming pool. This is a private area. And we will only see a small part of the garden. It's a very big garden with a lot more artwork that I can show you today. But we will see quite a few. And here is the main entrance of the castle. And there's some construction going on here. I guess they have to finish before the Christmas stay of the royal family. I like this architecture with the beautiful shells over the windows and this big hall, this big entrance. But let's walk further into the garden and look at some more artwork and garden arrangements. Maybe this house is for the servants, I don't know, but I can imagine. And here's a little greenhouse where I suppose they grow their own vegetables. Organic, probably. And there's another sculpture. And a little cat. Oh, it's so cute, a little cat. It has it all peacefully and quiet in here. And it can walk around everywhere. And let's walk up these little stairs, and there's another sculpture. This one is called Torso by Prince Henrik, made in 2007. Torso was a part of the first Sculpture by the Sea exhibition in Aarhus in 2009, where it was displayed near Hotel Marselisborg. Prince Henrik began sculpting a few years after his marriage to Queen Margrethe in 1967, and over the years he created both small and large sculptures, many of which have been exhibited. Let's walk a little bit further here into another part of the garden. This garden, by the way, is an English garden with all these grouped little areas. And here we have another little sculpture. This one is called the Ring Bearer's Jacket. And it is a commissioned work and was given to Her Royal Majesty Queen Margrethe II on her 50th birthday. J.G. Christopherson, and was inspired by Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, which the Queen had illustrated a version of. Oh. And here's another private garden area where more vegetables are grown. It seems like they eat quite healthy here. Lots of vegetables. I can imagine how beautiful this area must be in the spring and summertime. We will come back and see how it all looks. It will be quite a different landscape when we get back in the spring. Much more colorful, with flowers everywhere. And there's another little lady sculpture and a bench and another sculpture ahead of us here. Let's take a closer look at this one. So this one is a piece by Jens Flemming Sørensen. It has no name, but he has made several sculptures for Marselisborg Palace Garden here in Aarhus. The most well known is Somewhere Between Dream and Reality from 1977. And that is the one that we see right here. It is a bronze fountain on a granite base. It was commissioned by Her Royal Majesty Queen Margrethe II. The artist describes it as a blend between a baptismal font, a well, or a fountain. And let's walk through this corridor here and see what else we can find in the garden. I just love that it's like a labyrinth to walk here, and there's so much to discover everywhere. So many little paths that you can walk. And here is another one of those little tree houses, or whatever you call them, where the guards can't go in when there's rain and snow. And the sun has really come out now and is making everything so beautiful and golden. Everything is just bathed in gold. It's so incredibly beautiful. And the sky is all blue. And as you can see, there is a ton of paths and artwork to look at. But today we'll just cover a few, because we have lots more to see and explore in Aarhus. Here we have another sculpture. This one is called Confucius meets H.C. Anderson, hence Christian Andersen. And it is by Bjørn Nørgaard and Xia Devu from 2014. It is made of bronze and stainless steel, mounted on a granite pedestal. The sculpture is a collaboration between Bjørn Nørgaard and Chinese artist Xia Devu. Nørgaard created the figure of Confucius while Sia de Vue sculpted the figure of Hans Christian Andersen. Here you can see him with the iconic nose, and he carries some symbols from his fairy tales, like the little nightingale, you see, and the swan. And there's like this steel foot here. I don't know exactly what that symbolizes. But as you can see here, both Chinese and Danish writing. So the sculpture also includes 12 smaller figures drawn from Hans Christian Andersen's fairy tales and Chinese mythology, such as a mermaid's tail, a swan's head, and the Monkey King, and more. And the artwork was a gift to Prince Henrik on the occasion of his 80th birthday in 2014. So we are now heading out of the park, but we'll just enjoy the beautiful garden a little bit more. The trees in itself are like a sculpture. When the sun hits the beautiful surface here, just fascinating to walk in nature and explore all the details in the trees and the leaves and everything. And just look at the color of these leaves. And we're walking towards the exit or entrance of the garden, of the palace or castle garden. And if you do not already know, we recently had a new king. Prince Frederick became the king in January. So let's walk out, and we will head now to another beautiful place in the woods. We will drive deep into the woods and visit a place which I personally love and adore. And we will see in a minute just what that place is. But just driving through the peaceful forest on a quiet Monday like this is just heaven. And here we are at Skovmøllen, the old forest mill in Marselisborg forest. This place is just taken out from the old novels of the popular Danish writer Morten Korch. It is like going back 100 years in time. So this is very nostalgic and very typical Danish idyll. So idyllic out here. And here is the restaurant, Skovmøllen. Let's just enjoy the sound of the flowing water and the beautiful sights for a minute. I just feel so at peace out here. So here it says Velkommen, which means welcome. And there's a restaurant called The Garage, which is not the original restaurant, Skovmøllen, but it's a part of it. And you can also rent this place for parties like confirmations, weddings, and other festive occasions. You can have your parties out here. And you can sit here and drink coffee and eat your cake and drink your tea if you like. And here's the main restaurant and the old mill. And this place has been a restaurant since the 19th century, so it is really a time traveling experience to come here. And the cuisine is traditional Danish foods with a focus on local ingredients. So let's take a look here at what they have on the menu. I see they have lots of smørrebrød and lunch dishes, traditional Danish lunch dishes, also cakes and desserts and warm drinks. And what more do they have? They have the lunch table with a lot of different lunch dishes. And they decorated very nicely here for Halloween. Let's go inside. Yeah, it's so cozy in here. And some smørrebrød. And I can tell you that this was just the most delicious piece of smørrebrød I have ever tasted. It is chicken salad with bacon and greens on top. Just amazing. And they had a most spectacular layered cake, lavkage as we call it. It was amazingly delicious, and it is called Skovmøllen's layered cake, lavkage, and it has forest fruits in it, forest berries. It was amazing. So we can't film too much here because we want to preserve people's privacy. So let's go outside again and go for a little stroll in the woods. In Marselisborg skov. And we'll say goodbye to Skovmøllen for today, but we will definitely come back again very soon. It was really, really delicious in there, that food. And they have another part of the restaurant there for parties. And now you can hear the mill running. So let's walk here behind the restaurant. There's a little path that we can walk. And the leaves are just falling around my head as I'm walking through the woods. Pretty soon there won't be any leaves at all on the trees. So we'll just enjoy the last bit of the forest while it's still beautiful. The colors are just spectacular at this time of year. But we also have to get to the next place, so we are going back again to the car and drive somewhere else. Oh, somebody just got married. There's a little sign there. So it's a good and romantic place to have a wedding, I can imagine. So if you really want peaceful, idyllic nature experience, I can recommend you to come to this place and also have a little taste of Denmark, a little taste of our traditions. And here it says, to smile all day, you have to start in the morning. And that is very true, of course. And the beautiful bark on the trees is just like looking at green sculptures all over. And we are driving now to Moesgård Museum, and we're now passing through the old museum. This is where I also come a lot. There's also a very beautiful garden. This is an old manor where there is also a beautiful garden, but this place has been used as the old museum. In 2014 they built a new museum, which we will look at today, and it is right on the opposite side of the street. There's the old manor and the old museum, which is the most beautiful place also to visit, but we can do that another day. And here's the new museum. And what's fun about this one is that you can walk all the way up to the highest point of the roof and look at the beautiful view from up there. And this museum is a specialist museum for archaeology and ethnography. The museum collaborates with Aarhus University. The majority of the archaeological collections are Danish, but also contain changing special exhibitions from around the world. And Moesgård Museum is named after the manor and estate. In 1881, the museum building, which also housed an art museum after moving to the new building in 2014. and it's quite a steep way up, but it is certainly worth walking up there. And here you can also sit inside the museum and look at the view in a comfortable way. But not today. We might visit the museum inside another time. But today we're just gonna stay outside in the beautiful weather. And I made it all the way to the top. Quite fast, I must say. And here's the skyline, where you can see the horizon and the old manor down there. And the fields and the woods. Oh, such a beautiful sight. And we will now head down again from the rooftop. And if we look down, we actually see that there is a strange little house down there. And this little house we will take a closer look at. It is actually a reconstruction of one of the oldest churches found in Denmark. It is from a time when Denmark stood in a place between the Viking Age and the Middle Age, or the Dark Ages, as they are also called. So it was found in Hørning, close to Randers, north from Aarhus, and has been reconstructed here. And you can see that there are a lot of signs of the Viking Age in this building. So this is how the earliest churches of this country looked. I think it is very beautiful and interesting. Unfortunately, the door was locked today, but usually you can go inside and look inside this little church. All these ornaments are very typical of the Viking Age, when Gorm den Gamle was the first king of Denmark. But we can learn a lot more about the Vikings in another video. But at the same time, it does represent the first signs of Christianity in Denmark. So let's move on. And walk back, because we have a lot more to see. And now we will just enjoy the beautiful museum and take a look at the beautiful architecture of this very modern museum from 2014. I remember that I visited the museum while it was still under construction, and I was pregnant with my youngest son, and I was walking up and down the stairs, and it was a little bit hard. It's a very big museum. So now we are driving by the coastline here, Strandvejen. It's also called the beach road, Strandvejen, and we are going into the Latin Quarter of Aarhus. The Latin Quarter is Aarhus' oldest and most atmospheric district, a true historical gem dating back to the late 15th century. Here you will enter a world where cobblestone streets, colorful facades, and cozy courtyards create an almost Mediterranean atmosphere, only disturbed by the Scandinavian charm and of course, the Danish weather. The atmosphere is very lively. There are many cafés and restaurants. They are the most popular and are always full. And the streets are narrow and cobbled, which creates the perfect setting for the area's small and unique little shops. So take your time and explore a world of clothing and arts. And here we are. All the cutest shops are in this street, also the most expensive and interesting shops. They're not all expensive, but definitely the most interesting. And here's a beautiful shop, Moonstone, where you can buy jewelry. Many interesting jewelry. And another little cafe, actually my favorite restaurant, is in this street also. Yeah, and more beautiful jewelry to look at. Very interesting, looks handcrafted, a lot of it. And a clothing shop with lots of crocheted and knitted vests here, and a nice comfy sweater. I knit myself, so I don't really buy knitwear, but it's always great to get a little inspiration from what you see in the windows. Lolly's Laundry here, colorful and very Scandinavian. And another coffee shop. And another clothing shop. And still beautiful flowers outside. Everything is so beautifully decorated in these little shops. And of course, in Denmark we have a yarn and knitting store on every street corner, just like in Copenhagen, which is, I have heard, the knitting capital of the world. We have so many famous knitting designers from Denmark, and it is a huge trend in Denmark to knit. And I knit myself. I love to knit. It's so relaxing, and I just love to knit. So I come here to get inspiration mostly, and maybe buy a little something too. But most of my yarn I do buy online because it's cheaper. But when I earn more, I will support these little shops a lot more, because it is nice to have these little stores around.
Bare cykler. Så det ene gevind er meget sødt, så det er helt sådan. Så det giver jo sådan lidt mere. De har begge dele deres, begge to har deres fordele.
And they have so many supplies to look at too.
Jeg gør det for en sikkerheds skyld. Du har en kvittering med, hvis du skal have pengene retur. Og hvis jeg mangler garn. Jo.
And here we have another store, interesting store. So many interesting craft stores and handmade pottery and ceramics. So much beautiful ceramics here. I really like ceramics. I also once wanted to make that myself, but I never got to do it because I have so many interests. Just look at that beautiful skirt there with all those 3D flowers on it. I think that's amazing. I would like to get that for maybe for New Year's or for my birthday, maybe. And pretty shoes also, and gold and pearl jewelries. And those shoes are just fabulous. So fabulous. Just my cup of tea. And what does it say here? Produced in France. Fashion produced in France. Yeah, and it is quite extravagant and haute couture. Very haute couture. This store here, very special pieces. And here is Sophie Snor. You know probably that I like Sophie Snor design. I have shown you in one of my videos that I have many Sophie Snor shoes, which I really like. And here is an area called Bostadie, where there are often concerts, music, and usually a lot of life here. But as it is a Monday and it is in the morning, there aren't that many people around right now. But right across from here you see a cafe called Café Johan, Café Earth, and it's a very, very nice cafe. I like to come here. Yes, and now we are visiting Sophie in Danish, one of my favorite stores. And this store is very old. It was there in the 60s and 70s when my mother was young too, and she also liked the store. So they have so many beautiful things in here, colorful and special clothes, not the kind that you can get in any other store, but very unique designs. So it's always interesting to come in here and look at all the beautiful clothes and designs, and just look at the patterns here. And this hat is adorable, really adorable. And look at all those colors and patterns and designs. I also loved it. And they also have some very nice gala dresses here. Very nice. And I tried on a coat actually, but I found that it was a little too small for me. But I liked it a lot, and I think it went well with my red beret hat, but yeah, I wish it was just a bit more roomy. So I didn't buy it, but I plan to sew one myself. I actually already bought the fabric for it. And here's another ceramic artist selling very high-end ceramics. It's all handmade and very, very beautiful. I would love to buy these kind of things from these little stores, both because they're beautiful and because I love to support other handcrafters, because I am myself one of those. So I really like to support people that make stuff with their own hands. And everything is produced in Denmark by Ulla. I don't see her last name, unfortunately. But yeah, when I have more of an income, I will definitely support this store. And now we are moving to Stortorv, where there's a flower sales girl. And you see Domkirken here, the cathedral that we will visit in the end of this video. And there is also magazine, which is a nice big, what's it called? Like Harrods, a department store. With lots of different departments, with makeup and clothes and shoes and beautiful designer clothes and shoes. Yeah, magazine. And we are now walking to the Åboulevarden. Åboulevarden. Yes, the river boulevard, where there are so many beautiful restaurants and cafes and bars and nightclubs. This is where I like to come when I go out with my girlfriends to dance and to have a glass of wine or a glass of coffee or tea. This is absolutely the place to go. There's always a very good vibe here, in the weekends especially. Not so much at this moment. It's very quiet everywhere today. But I can take you back another time and show you the nightlife of Aarhus here in Åboulevarden. But I like that it's quiet and peaceful today. And there's no trouble getting a seat. Usually it's not easy to get a table or a seat. In the weekends you have to pre-order usually to get a seat on a table here. In these cafes, they're very popular, and the restaurants are great food, great vibe and everything. And lots of young people come here because, you know, Aarhus is a town of young people, because we have a big university, so young people from all over Jutland often come here to study, and they do enjoy the nightlife. So now we are going into one of my favorite little cafes called Vigo. And they have lots of delicious smørrebrød here and lots of other delicious dishes. So you can definitely get a very good bite to eat in here. And all that walking around sure does make you hungry. So I will grab another little piece of smørrebrød in here. Usually they recommend that you buy 2 to 3 pieces of smørrebrød if you're very hungry. But I think one will do because I've already had one in the other place in Skovmøllen. So I'll just have 1 piece of smørrebrød and that will be just fine. And then a cup of tea. And this is very delicious. I chose this time a fish fillet with the shrimps and dressing, and it was very delicious. Very delicious. But this burger also really looks good. I will try that another time. And the serving is very kind and friendly, always. A lot of young people have a spare time job here. So So after enjoying this beautiful little meal, we are going to see Domkirke, the cathedral. So we can go up here up to Stortorv, where the old cathedral is. And we're passing some bars, and there are so many bars here. I see here that we also pass the old theater, Århus Theater, which you can see here. And I really didn't plan to visit that, so I haven't got a whole lot to say about that. Maybe we'll visit that another time. But it is a beautiful building. Just look at all these ornaments and glass mosaics. It is Aarhus Teater, AT. Oh, and here it says actually that Aarhus Theater is drawn by Hack Camp Man, and it was in Viet. It was inaugurated on the 15th of September in 1900, and I can read more on the theater's homepage, about the history of the theater. We can do that another time. And here we have the old cathedral. Aarhus Cathedral has a long architectural history. The beautiful cathedral was dedicated to Saint Clement, who was Pope in Rome around the year 100 and was martyred when he was thrown into the water with an anchor tied around his neck and drowning. The construction of the cathedral began in the 12th century in Romanesque style. Remains of this church can still be seen today. In the years 1450 to 1520, the church was expanded into a Gothic cathedral and equipped with an altarpiece by Bernd Notke, a baptismal font, and frescoes. Many beautiful fresco paintings in here. In addition to church services, the church is also often used for church concerts. Aarhus Cathedral was most recently restored in 1999. You can also visit the church tower and look all over Aarhus. The tower is 96 meters high, and the cathedral in Aarhus is also Denmark's longest church, and at 93 meters it has approximately 1,000 seats. If you want to go up into the church tower, just ask the church attendant. And I actually remember that I went up into the church tower. There were so many stairs up there. It was a very narrow little way up there, but it was very nice to go up there and see the beautiful view over Aarhus. So I can really recommend you to do that. And let's just take some time and go around and look at all these beautiful ornaments. It's a huge church, very impressive. Really takes you back in time. And just look at that altar with those beautiful gold carvings and statues of different saints. And just take a look at all these beautiful frescoes in the ceiling too. So beautiful and historical. So much history to explore here. So, let's say goodbye to Aarhus for now. So that is all I have for today. I really hope you enjoyed this walk around in Aarhus. If you would like to see more of these kinds of videos, please feel free to write me in the comments. I would love to go on a few more trips around Denmark and visit other interesting places. So have a wonderful day, have a great sleep, and I'll see you again very soon.